My name's Jeffrey Davis. We're back on the air, and this is Radio Entrepreneurs. And our next guest, very interesting lady, knows a lot about public relations, but more important, she's going to talk to us about crisis communication in our current world in Title IX, because it's changing dramatically. It's Sandy Lish of the Castle Group, right?
That's right.
Sandy, tell us, this whole crisis thing, I guess, with the internet and tweeting and comments and Facebook, it's a big problem, isn't it? Or not a problem. It's a problem that needs to be managed properly by corporations.
It does need to be managed properly. The thing is, many years ago when I started out in the industry, if there was a crisis brewing in a company, you had some time to prepare before anything would hit.
A lot of time.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
You prepare your statements and you
Right.
prepare your spokespeople. Not so today. And what might have been just a sensitive issue or something that could have completely blown over in the past now can become a full-blown crisis.
Well, again, you're giving me a good sense of anxiety, because you're right. My in another life, we would have 3, 4, 5 days to prepare a counter statement and a release.
Yes.
But it would be a very targeted release to specific publications. And today, you're right. Something could happen, a rumor, and you could have thousands of hits on the web on it.
That's right.
Or a YouTube video with hundreds of thousands of hits.
That's right. And most of the folks that want to comment or post or retweet are the ones that are opposed to whatever you're doing.
Right.
That's right.
Happy people don't post.
Not typically.
Right.
So, or less frequently.
Well,
let's
yeah,
say.
I put up pictures of my kids on Facebook. But if I'm really mad at legal seafoods, if I'm really happy, I'm not going home and saying, how happy I was at legal.
Right.
But if I was truly offended at legal, I might go home and tweet something about legal.
That's right. And we work
I'm not.
Legal's great. But we work with a lot of corporate entities as well as nonprofit institutions. We do a lot of work in the education space. And in the education space, you're dealing with such a large amount of young people who can make mistakes and do stupid things. And are very, very visible on social media and go there first for a lot of things. And there's so much going on now with litigation and Title IX and discrimination. And, that's been huge for us in the work that we've been doing with schools. We have schools that we work with on the West Coast as well as in Massachusetts and throughout New England. And, they're all grappling with these same issues. And what happens, too, because of social media is it doesn't go away because if a reporter or somebody's looking for information, their history gets dredged out very, very quickly. And so they're pulled back into stories even if perhaps, what's going on with them isn't exactly live at the moment. So you need to manage it in the short term, but prepare for the long term, too.
I'm having trouble even comprehending how you can build an organization to deal with that. And maybe I'm sort of setting you up with a softball. I remember earlier in my career, one of my mentors used to say to me, Jeff, you have to be 2 steps ahead of the client, understanding what's going to happen before it happens and build the strategy before it happens. That meant thinking 6 months to 2 years out.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you build a firm that can be that proactive?
You have to be available at any time and all the time. That's one thing.
24/7.
You do. And you have to be able to anticipate and having had the experience of doing this for a long time, every situation is its own animal, but there are things that happen time and time again that you can anticipate will happen. With the traditional media, everybody wants to get their story up fast. So they may post a story and not give the opportunity to get the full story across and know that they're going to refresh it later. So you have to think about how you're going to handle things immediately, how you're going to handle things long term. Our approach is to be extraordinarily thorough with the client. So at the very beginning of a relationship, when there's a crisis, we start to put together real comprehensive Q&A. What are all the possible things that you can be asked from any of your constituents? 9 times out of 10, they look at what we've put together and they say, this is too many questions, or we don't want to answer this one. And we always say, you're not going to be able to control the questions you get. It's better to be thorough and prepared for everything and not need everything. And that thoroughness is key.
If somebody wants to find you, Sandy, and do work with you or find out how to handle crisis management, how would they do that?
The fastest way to get a response from me is on email, slish, Lish, at thecastlegrp.com. And our website is thecastlegrp.com. And there are a lot of case studies and other bits of information that indicate what we've done and how we've helped our clients.